according to the Daily Mail, Bacary Sagna questioned Arsenal when they let Robin van Persie leave, and I can't fault him for that because he's saying that when they let him leave, that's when they showed that they don't want to win the league, they don't want to win anything, and I like he says basically that showed that Arsenal lacked ambition, and this whole thing with them letting contracts run down with Nasri's, Van Persie's, things that like key players like this. I feel like at a key pivotal time, um, is the reason why. Well, it's like a big reason why Arsenal's like where they are right now. So yeah, just the retaining of the players would it made sure that Arsenal's in a better position now, and yeah, it's just I agree with what Bacary Sagna is saying because when I feel like it wasn't, I wouldn't say it's complacency, even though like somebody, I think it was Paul Merson, said naivety, and I usually don't agree with what he says, but now I'm looking at it, I'm thinking it could be a point because Ferguson, he would have never let that happen. You think he let Rooney go at that point? That there was a time when he could have let Rooney go, but it didn't happen. He just shut the door. It wasn't happening. What I was also saying is because I got interrupted, but yeah, Rooney, when Rooney wanted to leave, Ferguson just slammed the door. He wasn't going anywhere, and that's just like Wenger. I don't think he got backed by the board too much. I think maybe they didn't really care and they just thought, oh, Wenger's got it. But at the end of the day, that's a big factor in why Arsenal started to fall a little bit. But Samuel's also gone out to say he's also hit back at Fabregas' claims that because Fabregas stated that only Van Persie and Nasri at the time were on his level when he was at the club, and it was too much pressure for him, saying that it was too much pressure for him, and that sometimes being the captain, being the best player, that he would go home and cry and stuff like that. And Sanya's hit back out and he said that because Fabregas said he was too much weight on him. Some of the players just wasn't up to scratch, and Sagna hit back out and said that basically he sees him as a nice guy and he continues to see him as a nice guy, but he shouldn't really be saying that, considering the fact that Arsenal made him, and to be honest, the Gunners did make him. He came when he was about 15, like 2004-5 season, or early 2003, in the 2003-04 season as a youngster, and yeah, he did his thing. Arsenal did make him, and that's the thing, is that he made him into a big player to move on to Barca, but now it's like he wants to diss Arsenal again. So that's what I mean about Sagna. I do respect Sagna and his integrity for this, because I feel like it's missing with a lot of people. A lot of people can just diss and just get away with it, and I feel like Sagna's right to say what he's saying. Even the fact that he said that there was times where they were saying Fabregas could have done more for the team and tracked back, and he wasn't doing that. So me personally as well, I feel like that it's not always the best player that has to be the captain. Like Sagna could have been a captain at that time. Like we had some not weak captains, but some captains that kind of lost their discipline at times. Gallas crying, but they were great players. Like I'll never take nothing away for them. They're great players, but like Gallas and like Fabregas saying this, Van Persie, they come back and they kind of slate us sometimes. So I feel like Sagna could have been a captain. Like he's got the integrity, and he was consistent as a player. For me, he was on their level or close to it, if not. So yeah, that's my take on this situation, really.